Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited. Isis, All That Glitters. The goddess next door takes on a bikini-clad bank robber in this action-packed, all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis, All That Glitters in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. When I take a critical examination of the Manosphere, there's a reason why I say it's in a sad state. And one of the reasons why I say that the black manosphere is in a sad state is because I see many of the men devolving into misogyny. Now, I'm not the only one to notice this devolution into misogyny. Your Black Male Advice TV, Ringo TV Raw, he made a great live stream where he talked about how a lot of these black men were turning into these misogynists. And I noticed that in the comments section of one of my videos where I talked about why black women need to distance themselves from the Me Too movement. And I did that video because I love black women, and I know that there are a lot of sisters out there who don't know about the rhetoric regarding the Me Too movement, and I wanted to give those sisters some information in order to help them. And I've got some sisters who watch my channel on the regular, and they do not support the Me Too movement. Now, when I looked at the comment section of that video, and then I thought about Ringo's live stream, I connected the dots and saw two and two together, and I said to myself, I'm really seeing a lot of misogyny as related to this black manosphere, and a lot of misogyny as related to the black men who make up the manosphere. And this manosphere, again, the original mission of this manosphere was supposed to be about helping black men become better black men, growing as better to become better black men, and teaching the young brothers out there how to become good brothers who help out in their community and become leaders and stewards over the black community. And one of the things that is a part of becoming a good steward over the black community, as under the standard of the living God, is black men learning how to work with black women. Because black men, we can't do this alone in building up our community. We are going to need the help of the good sisters out there, and we're going to need to work with those good sisters if we hope to do something constructive. And when I listened to most of these guys who were in the comments section, they were just going off on black women and getting angry at black women. I did not see anything constructive in those comments where they were getting mad about these black women and the Me Too movement. What they, again, don't understand is there are good sisters out there like Afton Williamson who are out to look out for the brothers. But if you keep dogging these sisters out, what you're going to do is turn a lot of those good sisters against us. Because when I looked at what happened with Afton Williamson, I saw a good sister out here who was looking out for this black male producer, even though this man had done her wrong. This sister went out of her way to try to be discreet about things because she understood things as related to the black male image. And she wanted to protect the black male image in spite of what was done wrong to her, because she understood that this scandal that had blown out, it could have actually cost another black man his job, his reputation, and possibly his freedom. But instead of her trying to destroy this black man like a lot of these so-called ratchet sisters out here do, this sister tried to protect this brother and tried to protect his reputation. And I thought that was commendable because that showed class and character on the part of Afton Williamson, and it showed how much she cared about black men and the image of black men in this era of Me Too, where people like Bill Cosby have had their reputations destroyed and have been sent to prison. So she could have tuned that black man up, but you had guys in the comments section talking about how she had thrown this black man under the bus. No, Afton Williamson did not throw that black man under the bus. That brother threw himself under a bus by participating in inappropriate behavior, knowing the era we are in, the era of Me Too, where an allegation could cost a man his reputation and his freedom. I mean, this dude had to see the Bill Cosby trial going on, and that's the thing I hold him accountable for, because he knew what was going on as a black man. And again, this fits right in line with the Manosphere and its original mission. And part of that original mission is helping brothers improve in their lives, and also helping black men understand that they have to take accountability for their actions, and they have to be responsible for their actions. That's part of being a man when you are out here, is taking responsibility for your actions. And a lot of these guys, they're thinking that the Manosphere is just supposed to be some place where they can sit there and complain about all of these negative experiences that they're having. And that's not constructive at all, because all of that energy you are taking to be angry about the negative experiences you've had with black women in the past is energy you could expend on doing things that are far more constructive. And this is one of the things I have an issue with this Manosphere, is all of this bitterness and anger towards black women. This is energy you are wasting, and this is time out of your life you are wasting making these angry videos and making these live streams where you sit there and to argue and go back and forth about old hurts from the past, old bad experiences with black women in the past, and then focusing on the same types of behavior in the future. You could be doing far more constructive things with your time than sitting here being angry at bad black women who have done you wrong in the past. And again, part of the Manosphere is men sitting there to teach you and prepare you so that you can take the positive course in your life towards moving forward. Because to sit there and be angry at black women, that's a waste of precious time out of your life. And life is one thing that is here one minute, the next is gone. It's incredibly short. And you'll find as you get into your older age, you have missed out on so many great moments and great experiences in your life, all because you were sitting there being angry about something a black woman did to you 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 25 years ago. And that's something that you could have taken all of that great time out of your life and used it towards doing something incredibly constructive. I mean, man, you could have gone out here and started a business. You could have gone out here and went to school. You could have gone out here and found your dream job. Had you put yourself first and focused on what you wanted to do with your life, you could have found a great satisfaction in accomplishing something. Moreover, had you focused on a spiritual relationship with the living God, you could have found the peace to find satisfaction in yourself and to have that great relationship with the Most High so that He can give you the guidance and support that you need in order to move forward. Now, I've had black women do things bad to me in the past. I mean, I remember back when I was in high school, I had a girl tell me I couldn't do anything for her. I had another one disrespect me. And I had a black woman at a civil service job cost me my job by going along with a white man's lies. But I don't want to sit there and dwell on those issues because I understand that there is far more out there for me. And if I sit there dwelling in that anger, I'm not going to be able to go out here and accomplish something better for myself or do greater things than sit there in there dwelling on the past. Because as long as I dwell on the past, I can't focus on the future. And if I'm not focusing on the future, I'm not moving ahead. And a lot of guys out here, they're sitting there being angry at black women, sitting there being angry about black women who have done them wrong in the past, instead of focusing on the future they could have out here if they just put a little effort into themselves and put themselves first and focused on setting some goals for themselves, setting some things that they wanted to accomplish, and focusing on those things that they wanted to accomplish. Because every time I would run into one of these types of women, what I would do is, instead of me focusing on them, I focused on the goals I wanted to pursue. Now, I remember again when these girls did me wrong. Instead, I focused on my grades and trying to do better in school. And when this woman cost me that civil service job, what I did was focus on my books, and I focused on trying to build my SJS direct imprint, because the day before I got into that trouble at the job, God had told me to keep going, and He told me to keep going because He wanted me to move my life forward. And instead of me focusing on those people at the job over 10 years ago, I have been focusing on the SJS Direct Imprint, getting the books of the SJS Direct Imprint out here, focusing on men's issues, and helping brothers improve the quality of their lives. And when I look at the Manosphere, I'm seeing a lot of guys who aren't really improving the quality of their lives because they're sitting here being angry about black women who have done them wrong in the past, and instead of them focusing on a constructive course for the future, they're sitting there dealing with these old hurts, these old angry feelings, and all of this old stuff, and this old baggage is dragging them down and preventing them from having the progress in their life. And this was something, again, I learned years ago when I read Dr. Robert Glover's No More Mr. Nice Guy. I've applied those approaches to my life because he said that all of this stuff is just going to keep you from moving forward. So you really have to focus on moving yourself forward, because in order to become a healthy man, you have to deal with these hurts and deal with this pain, and you have to deal with the fact that everything is not black women. Some of these things have to focus on you building a discipline and resolve to become a better man. Because for you to sit there and just get angry because a man says he supports sisters in certain things, that's really troubling to me, because it's showing that instead of you growing to understand that yes, there are good and bad women out here, and that the good sisters out here need our support, what you're doing is getting angry at black women as a collective. And again, I'm seeing this anger turning into hate. And when this anger turns into hate, this is not constructive for you as a black man, because hatred is something that will eventually become an obsession. And once it becomes an obsession, you're going to become a lot like Elliot Rodger, a man who was so obsessed with women that his hatred turned into violence. And I don't want to see a brother turn his hatred into violence, or even to get angry at these women. What you have to do, like God says, is to forgive these women and then move on. And the reason why you're going to forgive is so that you can move on, because when you let it go and you let God deal with things, what's going to happen is you're going to have your heart and your energy aren't going to be focused on this person's negativity. It's going to be focused on the positivity. And when you're focused on the positive, what you're going to do is you're going to change your energy. And what that's going to do is attract more positive people to you. And when you attract the positive people to you, that's when you can get things moving. That's when you can get things popping. That's when you can get your whole life together, because you're not focused on what happened in the past. You're focused on what's going on in the future. And that's something that you can sit there and it'll make you feel more satisfied mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And that's going to make you a better man overall. Because that was, again, I thought was the original intention of the Manosphere. But sadly, the Manosphere has become this black hole of negative energy. And that's one of the reasons why I started to put some distance between myself and this Manosphere, because I want to see black men become better men. That's why I write books like Stop Simping. That's the reason why I write books like The Man Crisis. I write those books so that men can learn those life skills they didn't get from their fathers, so that they can apply those approaches so that they can improve the quality of their lives. There's no hatred of women when I write a book like a Stop Simping or Manginas, Misadventures of Captain Save-A-Ho, or a book like Why 70% of Black Women Are Single. In fact, the main reason why I wrote Why 70% of Black Women Are Single was not to denounce your black women. It was to get these sisters to understand that the approaches to life that they were applying were not working, and that they were outside the order of the Most High, the living God, and that they needed to get back in line with the living God if they wanted to have a relationship with a black man that was healthy, because as I saw it, they were serving a false Christ in this white man, and I wanted the sisters to understand the natural order of the living God, their place in the order of the living God, and their relationship to their man who has the direct connection to the Most High. I wanted them to understand that when I wrote Why 70% of Black Women Are Single. And many would think that the book was misogynistic, but the book was meant to help these sisters, because it was written out of love for black women. Because when I look at, again, help improving the quality of life for black men, first we have to focus on rebuilding the brother, then we have to focus on rebuilding the sister, then we have to reconnect the brother to the sister, because that's the only way we're going to have a healthy black family, because we need to have each other. And right now we have this gender divide, and what I'm seeing is that the black men, they're becoming more and more into this black hole of bitterness with this growing hatred of black women. And again, that's not what healthy men do. Healthy men understand that yes, you have some bad experiences with women, you learn from those experiences, and then you move on. You don't let this bitterness consume you. You don't let this anger consume you. You don't let this hatred consume you. Because if you let that hatred consume you, all it's going to do is permeate itself all throughout everything you do. It's going to permeate itself all throughout yourself. And all of that negative energy is what you're going to radiate out to the world. And when you radiate this negative energy, all you're going to do is attract more negative energy. And again, life is too short to be radiating negative energy, because that's going to keep you from living the best life, the abundant life God talked about we could all have if we have a relationship with Him. You could have that abundant life if you focused on putting God first, putting yourself first, and focused on more positive things and focused more on constructive things. That's what I want to see guys out here doing. Again, that's why I write these books, because I want guys to improve their lives, and I want them to understand that out here, there's just too much for you to sit here being angry about something that happened years ago, or to be angry at someone who you believe did you wrong. Because if you're sitting there being angry at black women as a collective, as related to the actions of one person, you are missing out on the rest of the world, and you're missing out on the very best in life. And that's one of the things that I want to see young brothers out here do, because a lot of the older brothers don't understand that the way you sit here and talk about women is affecting them, and it's teaching them a false perception about black women, that all black women are bad, all black women are no good. And as I see it, everybody has to be judged on an individual basis. And the whole thing is, a lot of the sisters out here have to be educated on things as related to men. And that's something that needs to be done through a constructive discourse, not through some live stream of going back and forth. And it has to be something that's done one-on-one between that man and that woman. Because as I see it, there's just a lot of anger out here over people who have been burnt in the past, and that's not helping anybody today. We need to focus on developing, again, a discourse with people. And again, we need to have a healthy, balanced picture of black women out here in our minds. That's one of the reasons why I write books like the Thetas and Spinsterella and the ISIS series, because I want to give a model for black womanhood, and I want to show a positive example of black womanhood, because I look at a lot of guys out here and they have this negative perception. They don't understand that the same way white supremacy demonizes black men and make them the bad guy, they also demonize black women in our minds and then have us fighting each other, because war is a business for white supremacy and they make money by having us fight each other and hate each other. And what they like to do is see you guys fighting each other. And this misogyny that I see growing, this is something that we need to address overall, because misogyny is not good for you as a man. It's not a good way to think. And when you imbibe too much media sitting there where you're listening to all of these negative messages about black women, you don't learn how to think objectively about black women and learn how to take each case as an individual and see the good sisters out here who are doing right and give them support. Instead, what you do is, what the black women usually say about us is generalize about all black women. And that's not a good thing to do, because as I see it, when I see a good sister like an Afton Williamson, who is looking out for the brothers even though she has been done wrong, that's a sister we need to support. And a lot of these sisters out here, again, they do not support the Me Too movement, and they need our support as well. And part of becoming a better black man is understanding that we need to have love for our sisters, and that's part of us learning how to have relationships with each other, because the whole thing about, again, your manosphere is learning how to become a better man, and a better man is going to be able to be the one to have a healthy relationship with a decent black woman. If you want to go out here and learn more from Ringo, you can subscribe to his channel, Black Male Advice TV. I'm going to leave a link to that in the description box. And if you want to try some of my SJS Direct publications, which present positive images of sisters like the ISIS series, the Esteem series, the Thetas, and the Spinsterella trilogy, or my men's issues books like Stop Simpin', you can click the link to Amazon.com in the description box. And if you want to help me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, and my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, Esteem: The Sands of Time. It's action and adventure in ancient Egypt in this terrific teen time travel romance. Get your copy of Esteem: The Sands of Time at your favorite online bookseller today.